Hi guys, welcome back to another video. If you haven't checked out my previous video, Narcissist would love to trade places with you. You need to go see that one because this is sort of a sequence. It's sort of a part two to that video. And I just wanted to share with you guys just the main reasons why narcissists do what they do. And ultimately, it boils down to them feeling shame, guilt, and insecurity. Those are the main driving emotions that propel them to do some of the things that they do. So don't ever feel horrible when you realize that they're projecting those things onto you. You have to sort of be able to identify what emotions belong to you and what emotions don't belong to you, because oftentimes they do so well at trading places, doing the role reversal with you, that you even start to gaslight your own self. And that's the spot where they want you to be able to automatically do what they would have done to you on your own, essentially. Kind of making you automated like a robot, programming, right? You into thinking the way they want you to think, that you are, um, you know, lacking something when really they lack human decency. They lack human decency, and they want you to believe that you're lacking something. Guys, I want you to really listen and listen carefully. When someone is role reversing and you get confused as to like how they're not telling you how they really feel, they're just kind of throwing up something when you throw up something in terms of having a discussion, and you're communicating that you're not happy about something, and then they chime in with something else at that given moment without addressing what you spoke about. That's a form of manipulation. Just understand what's going on. And sometimes I know it's easy to kind of lose track of what's actually going on because you are, wanting to, hear them out. And you're just not thinking along that line of being that way. And, sometimes you even give them the benefit of the doubt that they just want to be heard too. So you want to hear them out, right? So you give them the benefit of the doubt, and a lot of times that's what they bank on. They bank on the benefit of your doubt, you doubting yourself. They bank on that. They literally and figuratively benefit from your doubt. I'm going to just let that sit. Y'all, it's trifling, you know, what narcissists do to people, because sometimes people walk away completely shattered in terms of self-esteem, and you know they don't even realize they until they're far removed from the situation, they don't even understand what just happened. And that's kind of how disorienting the effects of narcissistic patterning, how disorienting it is for survivors to have gone through that and to survive, um, and not, go to the extreme. Some people are so broken down by narcissistic patterns and narcissistic abuse that they go to the extreme. They start thinking thoughts and they go to the extreme. And it's important. This is why I come on here. This is why I share what I know, because I know it's bigger than me. Um, you know, having gone through that stuff, I can tell you it's not fun. Um, and especially when they orchestrate things to happen in such a way that they gather people to further abuse you after they put you through the ringer themselves. I can tell you, it's if you've endured and you're here, you're still standing, I applaud you. Literally, you are a victor in this situation, because a lot of people are casualties. A lot of people lose their identities afterward, and they don't know how to rebuild. They don't know how to love again. They don't know how to believe in themselves again, because ultimately what narcissistic abuse does, and this goes back to the whole gaslighting that I mentioned in the previous video, when they gaslight you into believing their reality over your own reality, guys, you abandon yourself. You abandon your own logic. You abandon your own self in order to take and adopt something else, artificial, that is not real, that is made up, that is distorted, that is not really what you feel is resonating within your spirit. And that is an ultimate, like, way to, I guess, articulate, you know, what really happens when someone is gaslighting you and their actions and their words don't match up. They tell you that they love you, and then they treat you as though they hate you, or that they're competing with you secretly, because they're so insecure, and inherently they cannot help but to feel like they have to do more than you, or to stunt your growth in order to seem as though you guys are on the same level in their minds. Because if you didn't perceive that person to be even, capable of building a future with, you would not have entertained them. But in their minds, they're thinking, gosh, in order to make myself seem worthy, I gotta knock him or her down a couple pegs. How am I gonna do this without coming out looking like the bad guy? How am I gonna pull this off while making them look crazy in the end? Because ultimately the goal is to try to diminish them some way, somehow. And again, they don't choose weak-minded people who are gonna, they might settle for that, but that's not really their flavor. And this is what I've noticed. They'll settle for the ones that you could tell, the ones that they just put up with, the ones that kind of go along with everything. And if you've ever been in this game, narcissistic abuse cycle with multiple narcissists, and you kind of know what to expect, and you're like playing along, you kind of know they kind of put you on ice when you're agreeable and you're easily accessible, and you're just this, doormats. They don't really, that's not really their thing. So that's another way to get them off your back, if you're really, interested in learning how to play um, their psychological games in order to get out of that maze safely without them even detecting that you've detected them. And I think what I need to do is go ahead and create a course plan for those who are interested in um, outwitting the narcissist, because there is truly a way to outwit them. Um, you just have to have emotional intelligence to, and you can build and develop that. You can build and develop your emotional intelligence. Some of them are not the most intelligent, even though they're cunning. They're not the most, intelligent emotionally. They're kind of like stunted emotionally. So if you're dealing with one and you're afraid that they might explode, or they might do um, something in retaliation to you leaving them, there is a way to outsmart them. And that's kind of where I want to focus on, because I know there's a lot of women and men who are wrapped up with narcissists, and whether they use the children, the money, whatever, physical aggression or threats. It varies, and I've seen it all. And I just want to be able to kind of show you guys a different way how to get out of that situation. But by all means, you know, I'm not licensed to give you guys, professional advice. This is just experiential advice. Um, the course that I'll be creating, if you're interested, is something worth looking at. But always, if you're capable, if you can, seek professional help. I'm just gonna put that in there. Um, if you need to contact the authorities, there are hotlines that you can contact. And I'm going to tell you now, I know sometimes the help that you need is not the help that you can receive at that time. So you want to expand your resources and kind of be able to think through some things, because I've been in a scenario where I've gotten denied resources, and I was in a situation that I needed to get out of. And so, like I said, these are experiential um tips and advice. So, I can coach you through it individually if you have a unique situation. I'll leave my email. My email is on the about page, I believe. You can check it there. If anything, I'll put it in the description box. So if you're interested in, getting more information, or, signing up for the course, definitely reach out. But you guys are super strong, and a lot of times these narcissists are scared of being found out about. And it's not necessarily your job to, out them, because again, there could be some consequences based on this person. You know this person, um, and there could be consequences that would negatively impact you depending on what you're experiencing. But sometimes it's just something that you just, it's not that deep. Maybe you didn't have much of a tie to this person. You just were casually, getting to know them, or, dating them, or even engaged to them. You didn't tie the knot just yet. You are luckier than most. Not saying that the damage is any less severe, because you could love someone and still really be, emotionally invested in them and experience a lot of trauma from that. And so it's not to say either or is, you know, worse or more traumatic, but it's just a lot less complicated to untangle yourself from a situation like that. Um, and you have some narcissists who quickly want to get you entangled with them in terms of making things um, serious on that level. They want to get married within a couple weeks of meeting and getting to know each other, and you wonder, like, why did that happen like that? Like, I'm not really sure. And you're thinking, well, like, naivety is like a narcissistic, is like honey for a narcissist. Naivety, being naive and innocent, they love that. That's like honey to them. So, oh gosh, I just had like a couple flashbacks of times where I was, whew, I had one narcissist, like literally everything, tried to destroy everything connected to me. I gotta give y'all a full story of like a story time. You people deserve a story time, because you would understand where all this wisdom and experience came from. Not through reading any books or nothing like that. I don't think I've picked up one book on narcissism. All this is dealing with and surviving and thriving and being blessed enough to see a new life outside of that lifestyle. A lifestyle of people pleasing, wanting to not be, too anything. And I mean, this is what I mean by the narcissist would try to project or create, they'll concoct stories out of thin air. They'll concoct stories out of thin air, y'all, to get you to prove to them that you're not that, so that you can continue to diminish yourself to fit into this little tiny box that they have for you, so that when they're ready for you, mind you, they're making room, they're collecting you like a little collectible. They're collecting you, they're crunching you down, fitting you, so they're collecting you, they're collecting all these little people, so they got to get you as tight and as compact as possible, so that you can be in this little space. Their hearts, the little tiny space, is a New York size apartment. Shout out to my people in New York though. But they get you as small as possible, so that what they do is get you as small as possible so that you can compete. Here's your competition. They get y'all all crammed up, having three people on their line, on their roster, so that you can compete. I'm gonna tell y'all about the sick games that they play, and then pretend that you're going crazy, and then you're selfish. How could you possibly expect me to go to work and come back home and give you all this time when I give you all my time? I give you all my time. I give you everything that I have, and I'm just trying to earn a living so that we could live comfortably and all this stuff, and you're on here badgering me. So this is why I don't want to come home. And they go on, and these are, oh my god. Okay, I know y'all. Some of y'all like got triggered. Though I don't want to trigger anybody. I don't want to trigger anybody just yet. Because if I'm gonna trigger you, I want to give you the aloe vera to put on your wound, so that we can work forward, work through and move forward. You know, work through this stuff together, because it gets real, really real. Talking about some of the things that they use, because in hindsight, and then you start to feel, kind of stupid. You're like, oh my God, how could I have not seen that? How could I have overlooked that when my gut was telling me that this is just hogwash the whole time? You sort of feel bad, because you're like, why did I even let this person into my space when something in me was not gelling with them originally? Why did I forego that? That's a whole nother video about trusting your intuition, trusting your gut, fellas, trusting your guide, trusting your inner knowing that what you feel is what it is. Not what everybody's telling you that you should look for in a person, but trusting that even though you're seeing this representative, this person who dresses up, has the degree, has the fancy car, takes you on these, whatever, like, trust that what you're seeing and what you feel is what it is, and going with that the first time, not playing Scooby-Doo, you know, and going and investigating. No, we don't want to do that. We don't want to waste time. 2022 is here. We are doubling up. You understand? And we don't have time to be doubling back. Okay? That's it. That's the story. That's the message. This is your one and truly. Guys, I'm trying to sign out. Okay, that's the story. That's the message. I'm out. This is Orator Produce signing out until next time. Bye. Love you. Mwah. Take care.